Welcome to the Oxford Storyteller. Today, Red Riding Hood. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and consider supporting the Oxford Storyteller on Patreon. Thank you. Please note that as there are many vocabulary definitions provided in today's story, it may not be possible to view them in the short time that each is displayed. Please pause the recording at the appropriate moment to view definitions where necessary. You can also view all definitions in the glossary at the end of the story. Thank you. There was a lonely cabin within a dark old wood, and in it, with her mother, there dwelt Red Riding Hood. The tall old trees above them their winter fire supplied, when autumn's flaming sunsets from their red leaves had died. The rippling brook their water from far-off mountains brought, and prattled of their summits in icy statues wrought. For them the squirrels hoarded their nuts in hollow trees, and pounds of sweetest honey were made them by the bees. To gather these together was work enough to do. Little Red Riding Hood thought so, and so, no doubt, would you. Blushing beneath her fingers, looked up the berries red. The flowers seemed to know her, and listened for her tread. This little pot of butter I've churned so nice and sweet, and mind not stop and prattle with anyone you meet. Then through the shady forest the little maiden went, and though her steps were fleetest, the day was well nigh spent. When nearly through her journey an old gaunt wolf she spied, who wagged his tail and humbly came walking by her side, and said, "My little maiden, how very fair you are. You really look quite handsome. Where do you walk so far?" Forgetful of her mother, she stopped and told him where. Then said the wolf so cunning, "What is it that you bear?" Forgetful of her mother, she stood and told him what. "'Tis butter for my grandma, packed nicely in this pot." Then said the wolf, "Goodbye, dear, perhaps we'll meet again." Then swiftly on he hastened, swiftly through dale and glen, and running reached before her the cabin grey and old. Her grandmamma was absent, he quickly did enfold himself in cap and nightgown, then quickly on the bed, closely upon the pillow, he laid his grisly head. Red Riding Hood soon entered. "Oh, grandmamma, see here, a little pot of butter. Where is my grandma dear?" "Here," said the wolf, well feigning her grandma's voice so weak. "I'm here, so sick, my darling, that I can scarcely speak. Take off your clothes, my darling, upon the bed come lie. When you are here beside me, I'll be better by and by." Red Riding Hood obeyed her, and got upon the bed. "Oh, grandmamma, how altered you are," she quickly said. "Oh, what great eyes, my grandma, they never looked so before." "That's to see you better, my darling, the larger to see you more." "What a great nose, my grandma, it never looked so before." "That's to smell you better, my darling, the larger to smell you more." And what great hands, my grandma! They never looked so before. That's to hold you tight, my darling, and to hug you more and more. What a great mouth, my grandma, as large as your tin cup. That's to open wide, my beauty, and then to eat you up. Then he opened his great mouth wider to eat her like a bird. But at the dreadful moment, a hunter's gun was heard. The wolf fell dead and bleeding. Then Grandma hastened in, for she had seen the peril, the danger that had been. Red Riding Hood wept sadly and sorrowed more and more that she disobeyed her mother, which she never did before. She thought with fear and trembling of the death that came so near, and she said the fright had taught her to mind her mother dear. Then listen, all ye children, and mind your mother's word, for the great wolf men call evil is prowling round unheard. Thank you for listening to today's story, as told by the Oxford Storyteller. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and consider supporting the Oxford Storyteller on Patreon. Thank you.